Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nature with You. I'm your host, Abby. Today I will be talking to Jana Brooks. Jana is the Customer Experience Manager for Visit Baltimore, the Convention and Visitor Bureau of her hometown of Baltimore, Maryland, and is the owner of Forward Minded Management, her sustainability and event consultancy. Previously, she was the operations manager for the newly modernized CFG Bank Arena, and prior to that, Jana was the manager of events and tenant services for the Maryland Stadium Authority. There, she was in charge of overhauling the sustainability efforts across the complex, which led to LEED Gold and Silver status for Oriole Park and the Warehouse, respectively. Jana is the member of the U.S. Green Building Council Maryland chapter, amongst other organizations, and earned her LEED Green Associate designation in June 2023. So excited for you to listen to our conversation. Enjoy. What is your favorite type of animal, plant, or landscape?
My favorite type of, animal, when you come to domesticated animals, I am a dog person. Nothing against cats, but I just have an affinity for dogs. For a different type of animal, I have always been enamored by giraffes. Okay. I think they're just different. I just wonder what that life is like. As somebody that is 5'2" and have a lot of tall friends, I consider myself that God perfected me sooner, which is why I'm shorter. And everybody hates when I say that, and I laugh at them because they're taller than me. But I don't know. I just wonder what that life is like. What is it like being able to see? So I guess it's just because it's the opposite of who I am naturally.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with a giraffe. As for plants, I am a sucky plant person. I actually killed a stick of bamboo once by mistake. So I do not have a green thumb, but I am proud to say that I have a peace lily from when my father passed. He passed in 2020, and it's still alive. And I have a spider plant that I have had to repot into a larger plant, meaning it is still alive.
Yes.
And there's another plant. My mother just gave me another plant. She said, "You need more green in the house." I was like, "Slow down, lady. Like, the two I have in here with me right now are doing fine. Let's not go crazy here."
Let's not push it.
Exactly, but all three are still alive. So I don't specifically have a favorite plant just because I struggle with keeping them alive. And then landscape, oh man. When I was thinking about this question, I was like, there's so many landscapes that I am like obsessed with. And I love to travel. I am very much the photographer person when I'm traveling. But I have to say that the landscape that I just absolutely fell head over heels with was in Iceland. I just visited Iceland in August, and it was just otherworldly. It was so different in some parts because we traveled the entire basically the southern border. And so just seeing it, number one, by car, number two, in the city versus in the countryside, it was just stunning. It was so otherworldly. Like, it felt like this is absolutely a movie set, and it was absolutely stunning. That's going to be my favorite, even though it's the most recent, that's going to be my absolute favorite because it was so different than anyone I've ever seen.
That's awesome. Did you have a chance to talk to a lot of the people who live there and explore how their relationship with the land is?
I did not, actually. We spent a lot of our time in the car driving between. I actually piggybacked on a friend's trip. He was going anyway, simply because she was looking for a quick trip, nonstop flight from Baltimore, but she knew that it would be safe for a woman traveling alone. And so for me, I just was like, oh my God, I had the weekend free. I'm jumping in. So I didn't have any idea of what it would look like or be like. I didn't know what her itinerary was. I was just along for the ride. So we talked to one person in the city of Reykjavik. No, Vic. That's what it is. Okay. In the city of Vic. But she was our server at one of the restaurants that we had dinner at, and we didn't really talk so much about nature or the land or anything like that. We were actually talking about safety and security. Yeah, because my friend, she laughed at. There was this photo that we took. Actually, I could tell a little bit about this. There was a photo that we went snorkeling, and it's between two tectonic plates that we went snorkeling. And I had Just the worst experience. I'm not going to say I'm water averse, but yeah, I learned a lot about myself in water that I thought I was good, but then I'm not when you look down as far as it was. So that kind of knocked me off kilter. So our tour guide took a photo of us, but she took it so close. She stuck a GoPro in each of our faces. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. So when I turned and looked at her, she stuck this GoPro like an inch from my face, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Of course, the photo is goofy, and so I showed it once she uploaded it. My friend and I were at dinner, and I was like, "Okay, do not laugh at this photo." I sent it to her, and obviously, she laughed hysterically. And I called the server over and was like, "I need you to call the police because she's bothering me. Get her away from me. Escort her out of the restaurant." Like making this whole joke, and she was like, "The police are at the volcano festival," and I was like, "The what?" Like. And she was like, "Yeah, the police." Like, basically, I'm not going to say there's 2 police officers, but the way she made it sound was that there were like 2 police officers in this entire city, and they're both at this festival. And I was like, what? It seems so far, and coming from Baltimore, we see police all the time.
Yeah.
And so I say that to say we didn't talk so much about nature at that point, but seeing the different facets of nature. We did a lot of hiking. We went to a lot of cliffs and waterfalls. We did, like I said, we snorkeled with the 2 tectonic plates. Like, it was insane to see it from all these different perspectives.
Yeah.
We even hiked in a glacier.
Wow.
So I can't say enough about that trip, especially as it relates to nature and the different areas of it. But yeah, I definitely vote Iceland.
Yeah, I will say, as someone who's gone snorkeling a lot, probably, you learn a lot about yourself when you're snorkeling. And I was absolutely terrified, like, the first time I went. And I was really, like, trying to act cool about it, because I'm pretty sure I was on a school trip. And I just wanted to be big and brave, and, oh, she's going in first, cool. But, yeah, I really did not like... When I started to like it, I was able to realize my breathing patterns, and it just takes a lot, like, of practice to get to like it if you don't have that natural, like, yearning to go in the water. So, totally valid and totally respect it. It's not for you.
I want to open myself up to it, and it was crazy because I took swim classes for years when I was younger, and it's just not something. It's like Spanish. I took Spanish in school, but I don't speak it fluently because I had no one to converse with. So when it comes to swimming, we went to the Blue Lagoon, like straight off of the airport, off the airplane. It was the first thing, set the tone for the trip, relax. But even that I struggle with, and she booked us a 30-minute float session, meaning like you play around in the lagoon with everybody else, but you can actually have a guide that literally helps you float. Okay. And so I was like, okay, I didn't again know what to expect or what this was. So we go over, we meet him, and he's telling us like you have to release and just float. And he covers your eyes with a sandbag kind of thing, and they put in essence floaties on your thighs to keep your legs up. And he was like, you have got to relax. I was so tense. And I don't know if it was the water in my ears. I don't know what it was, but I could not relax. But I did like you did. I focused on my breathing, and I ended up falling asleep. That's how relaxed I got. However, the next day, the snorkeling, 32 to 36 degree temperature.
Oh, my
We're in like 3 layers, and that's Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. We're in layers, 3 layers. And as soon as I put my face down when we were standing on the platform, I was like, wow, that's cold, but it's fine. And I said, that's far, but it is beautiful down here. Most clear water I've ever seen in my life. But then as soon as we actually started snorkeling, I started to panic. And obviously it's different than the Blue Lagoon because I can put my feet down and I can gather myself. But this, I couldn't do that. So then I started, it ends and the flood, it was a whole thing. But just like, you don't realize the world is so much bigger.
Right. There's so many things to try, and I think you just have to commend yourself on just trying.
Yeah. I do want to try it again. I mean, even if it's not that experience, I do want to try snorkeling again. I need to let go.
Yeah. What scares you about nature?
There are certain facets that are unknown, and I think it is more, as much as I just went on about snorkeling, it's not being in the environment. I think it's more what's in the environment. For me, like camping, okay, glamping, okay, but it's I'm not a fan of bugs of any kind. So it's the things, the elements that are around me that I'm more concerned about than actually being out in whatever nature, wherever I am. So I think it's just the things that are unknown about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I have, in some of the other episodes, similar comments from other people. Just especially for something like camping, there's planning, and you need the gear if you want it to be extra successful, or just like to a certain extent, if you don't have experience, or like maybe when you were a kid, your mom or just a friend was like really scared of bugs, and that just really stuck with you. I don't know, I think like it all does connect, like how we've been exposed and all that. So
agreed.
There really is so much that we just don't know about the planet, which is scary but also cool.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The new discoveries, like even I just saw an article about they discovered another moon. We'll have a second moon until 2083 or something like that. And I'm like, what? I didn't read the article yet, but I just saw the headline, but I was like, huh? Okay. Yeah. Like, how's that work?
Yeah, my dad just sent me that too. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but I'm just like, every day they're finding something new. Yeah.
The one thing is, actually, if there has to be one thing, I'm less afraid of snakes. I don't like crickets.
Crickets, okay.
Yeah, so I struggle with them. Even the ones that like make their way into my garage or that I hear in the backyard all night, I don't like them. They're loud and they move too fast for me, and I don't like it. I'm not going to say you should stick me in a snake pit, but yeah, you put me head-to-head with a cricket and something's got to get burnt down.
Yeah.
I can't handle them.
That's
all I have to say about that.
That's funny you say that. It's just so funny how different people are, because my best friend, she actually has a gecko as a pet, and she has to feed the gecko live cricket.
Oh, no.
So she constantly has crickets like in her room and stuff.
No.
It's just,
I would burn the house down and start over again. No.
We all just have different limits, different things.
The gecko has to find his own food. Sorry, not sorry, little guy.
If you don't mind me asking, can you recall if like people in your family or any friends encouraged sort of bugs are icky or gross, or is this kind of a you've developed thing?
I think it's a me developed because my mother, if my mother was on this call, she would tell you when I was younger that I used to go, and I'm not going to say play with them, but I respected them and would let them crawl in my hand. The cicadas.
Oh my gosh.
And I have it's not quite a core memory because I don't remember all of it, but I do remember one getting into my grandmother's house when I was younger, and she was losing her mind. And I was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like crawling in my hand. Now, I'm like, kill them all. Like, death to cicadas. So I don't know where it came from. I think it's just my own biases against whatever, but mostly, I don't know. Crickets they just are not. One got in my bedroom. That's a core memory. Because one got in my room somehow when I was still living at home. And I think my mom was like in the kitchen. My dad was doing whatever. And when I tell you, I'm taking this, I think I had a book or like pads of paper or something, and I am beating everything in this room to high heaven trying to kill this cricket. Nobody came to help me. Nobody came to see what was going on. And I am screaming and doing all these things, and then they came around the corner like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, there's cricket in my... Totally flipping out. So, I don't know if it's just because I can't catch it. Go outside.
Yeah.
This is my space. You have all the world to explore. Go out there.
Yeah. So when they're outside, you're fine.
Yeah, I hear them. In the summertime, when the windows are open, you hear stuff, or they keep me from sleeping. Or when I'm cutting the grass, I hear them. So, okay.
Yeah.
I know they're there, but you're not in my house. Just don't be in my house.
Yeah.
That's my space.
That is also funny. I do remember, like, my grandma would have a sound machine on when we would stay at her house, and I think most of the time the sound was crickets. It's just so funny how different. Are there nature sounds that you do that do bring you peace?
Rain.
Rain, okay.
It's funny they have their Calm has started using commercials for their app.
Oh, yeah.
And just that little 15-30 second commercial spot, and at the rain, I'm like, oh. And it was one night I was like, I cannot sleep, and I had the TV on, and I heard the commercial. The TV was on sleep, so it eventually would have gone off, but I heard that commercial, and I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And I turned on Calm for a little while, and the rain. Absolutely the rain.
Okay, so...
Or waves. Some kind of water.
Water, okay.
Yeah.
But so with Calm, they do utilize a lot of, like, nature sounds and visuals?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
it can be it can be a sound, it can be some sort of melody, but for me, the rain or some sort of, like, waves crashing, something like that, yeah, that'll get me every time.
What are some reasons you cannot or do not spend more time outside?
I don't think I ever would say I cannot spend more time outside. I think I just don't. I did get outside a lot during COVID, taking walks around the neighborhood and things like that.
Yeah.
Which I wish that I had maintained. I don't do that enough. I think I just let life get in the way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of my friends that will take a walk outside, or at a previous job, I was working on a complex that a lot of workers in the building would just go and just walk around the block or walk around the building. And I'm like, it's brilliant, and it's a mind cleanser, and it gets you away from the desk, the office, the process there, all the things, but I just don't do it enough. I don't know, honestly. I don't think that there's a reason why I don't. I just let life, I guess, get in my way, or I get in my own way.
Yeah, you just...
For getting outside.
It does take some... you have to be so intentional about it. Yeah. Some people I've spoken to, they're like, I have my scheduled, like, nature walk each day just to make sure I have that time. But it's so hard, especially if your schedule's not the same every day, or if you don't have access to those types of spaces. Like, I'm not sure if you live in the city or anything, but some people might not want to walk around outside if they feel unsafe or if there's no shade.
True. I'm in the county, and I am thankful for my little quarter acre of land that I have to mow every few weeks. But it's like I go outside and I do that, and then I go back inside. Like, there's no reason why, but then it's back to, again, touching on core memories. My dad would just he sat in a porch chair, and he would just sit and watch the cars go by, and be outside. Like, he didn't have neighbors would obviously walk by, or people he knew would drive by and say hi, but that was his enjoyment. That was his socialization outside of work and family and all that stuff. So I don't know why I don't do it, actually. And that's an excellent question for me to work on.
I think it's a great question for everyone to ask themselves, just because we really do rush from one thing to the next, or maybe we've got to watch the new episode of something, and that's prioritized over just something like sitting on the porch and watching the world go by.
Absolutely.
My boyfriend and I actually we screened in this little building out in our backyard, and there's a nice little couch out there that we can sit in, but I've probably sat out there less than 10 times, which is not great for the amount of money and work that was put into that, but also just, why not? What am I doing inside that I can't do out there?
And it's right here.
Yeah.
Understood.
So many people would probably love to have that space, so, yeah.
Especially if there's Wi-Fi out there, you can still do the same thing in the house. Just get outside and get a breeze.
There is. We've actually even taken out, we have a smaller TV. We've taken the TV out there and watched baseball games out there, so.
There you go.
Still outside.
You don't do that enough is the problem.
Yeah.
You do it, just not enough.
Exactly. Do you currently do anything to share your experiences with or connection to nature, and how do you share?
I typically am posting something on Instagram and Facebook, and probably here and there link threads. I've just made my way onto that. But so I do remember wanting to share. So I started this little fledgling photography business back in, I don't know, 2005 or something random. I got this big, I asked my parents for this big camera for Christmas, and I had it, and it was my pride and joy, because photos are my pride and joy. If my house is on fire, you give me 5 seconds to go in and grab something, I'm grabbing my hard drive and my camera. My memories are everything to me when it comes to photographs. I remember at one point wanting to sell, like, obviously I would travel around with the camera, I would do parties for people, et cetera, but I always wanted to sell my photos on Etsy. And I don't know, I've used them to decorate my house. I was in Paris, I took these, what I considered artsy photos of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And I framed them and made this little collage for one of the walls in my house. Things like that. I don't know. It's easy to go to a store and buy some made in China, no disrespect to China, but made in China picture of something. But when I look at what the photo I have taken and I have produced and put on my wall, it's a different type of pride, maybe.
Yeah.
Is the right word. So yeah, for me, it's posting to share with others, or it is something that I use in my house. I never really did get Etsy off the ground. You're bringing up some things here, because as a side note to this entire conversation, I have realized how much I start and don't finish in my personal life. Work is great, checking boxes all the time. Like I said, I started the photography business. What happened to it? Nothing. I started working and I put the camera down unless I'm traveling. So you're bringing up more here that I need to address, or that I have not been thinking about because I haven't discussed it. So that said, selling photos on Etsy.
It's going to happen.
It is going to happen. I appreciate the positive energy. But yeah, like just sharing them in some sort of way, whether it's through sale, whether it's just sharing, or it's at my house and people see it when they come over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my way of sharing.
Does photography just allow you to notice some more things in nature that you may not notice, or how does that enhance your connection?
I think that's a fair thought as far as like enhancing what I'm seeing. I think it's just about the memories of it. Maybe. Might have to dig a little deeper into that question, but I think that it could be enhancing what I'm seeing. I'm thinking of some of the photos that I've taken a liking to, that I've taken over the years, and I'm wondering what is the connection to that.
What are some of your favorite nature photos that you're thinking of right now? Can you describe them and maybe some of the memories?
So besides the Iceland photos, like I enjoy cityscapes. And photographing architecture. I took my dream trip to London and Paris a few years ago, and it was pre-COVID, but just that, like the old and the new, and that always jazzes me. I find that I very rarely take trips to beaches. I like exploring cities, so that's a thing that I probably should branch out a little bit, even though there's some great cities, but there are also some great beaches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking about the architecture in London and Paris. I'm thinking about the landscape in Spain. I did a Mediterranean cruise once, and that was a part of the world I never thought I would see. That was my first international trip, and it was like, wow, this is that was I call my Eat, Pray, Love trip. Like to get out and to see these other parts of the world that I never thought I would see. So it's like landscapes and things like that.
What natural phenomenon do you find most interesting?
The Northern Lights.
Did you get to see them?
No, and that is why. What is it, Aurora Borealis?
Borealis?
Yes. No, I did not get to see them because we were there in August. It was basically their summer, if I'm not mistaken. So it was warm, 50s, very low 60s, little rain, but it was daylight until 10:30 at night. So it knocks your internal clock off a bit, but that was why we didn't get to see them. So I was like, oh, I got to go back. I got to find time to get back. Yeah. But I am looking forward to, my parents would have been married 50 years next year, and my mother's dream trip is a Alaskan cruise. So I told her, if we go nowhere next year, we have to do this. Like, I need to know that I gave this to you, and that we saw this. And plus, the way climate change is going right now, look, Alaska might melt.
Yeah,
So I
get
don't
it done
want
sooner than later.
like I want to check that off our list. But that said, I know that there's a potential to see it there. But just a plug for Iceland again, and the nonstop flights from BWI are extremely reasonable. So I think that even if I don't get back to Iceland, I'm really hoping that we're there at the time of year that I can see them in Alaska. It's just, I don't know, the sky. So I've always had an affliction for the sky. I love taking off and landing in planes. I love being in the clouds. I love seeing cloud formations. I love watching you're in the office and you're looking out the window and a storm is rolling in. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with clouds. I think I miss my calling and being a meteorologist. But that said, like anything in the sky that is, I don't know that I'm necessarily the one that will go to space.
Yeah.
But I definitely love looking up. I enjoy, back to touching on the photography, I enjoy being at the highest point of any city that I'm in. So if I am, like in Paris, going to the top of the Eiffel Tower, great. But I went to the top of, I think it's Montparnasse. Please, no French people butcher me on how I am pronouncing this. I could spell it for you better than I could say it. But that said, it's like I like to see the highest point of the city, and that was where I went for that. Even in Seattle, Space Needle, great. But nope, I went to this other building so that I could photograph the Space Needle from there. What was it? Sears Tower? I know it's not called that anymore. In Chicago, it's something about the sky, it's something about clouds that is so like majestic almost.
Yeah, that's a great word. Yeah.
Nice. I definitely, all that to say, Northern Lights.
Yeah. Northern Lights, clouds. I love that you say that you're like a type of person who just likes to look up, just because I think it also, if we want to get philosophical here, it helps remind us that there's more going on than just our day-to-day routine. And I don't know if you feel this way when you look up and you're just kind of, wow, like the sky it's all just so massive, and the scale of everything. That's where my mind goes when I'm looking up into the sky.
And I agree with all that. It's also peaceful.
Yeah.
I parasailed on a vacation once. Ooh. It was the most peaceful I've ever been. And I was nervous to do it, but it was so quiet. And it wasn't necessarily in the clouds, but it was so quiet and peaceful up there. And I think, first of all, thank you for this topic, because I don't talk about or think about nature enough. So thank you for this.
Yeah, of course.
A lot up that I need to pay attention
That's the
to.
point. That's the goal. I'm glad it's working.
It is definitely working on me right now.
What do you know about climate change?
I know that a lot of people think that it is fake, and I know that I believe it is not. I know that I don't know anything technical, but I have definitely noticed our seasons have shifted, and I don't know if I was consciously focused on that, but for it not to snow until, I don't know, January now, as opposed to late November into December,
right.
Our being warmer longer, like it's just, our seasons have shifted, and I don't understand why there's such a population out there that doesn't recognize that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't have any technical terms or anything like that, but I definitely know that it is affecting, it's melting ice caps and glaciers and all these things. These poor polar bears can't find food. Like, they're skinny as rails out there in Antarctica and all these other places that they live. But it's something that I don't think people take seriously enough.
Yeah, I agree. And I asked this question not to try to bring up technical things, but I really like how you immediately answered how it affected your area and you specifically, because you are right also, like the ice caps are affected, wildlife in various areas, especially the polar regions, are affected, but also you are noticing changes in your current environment, and I think that allows people to build that understanding and awareness. It's not a somewhere else problem or someone else's problem. It's my problem too. So
everybody's problem.
Yeah. So that was great. I guess I'm trying to think of now when the last time there was White Christmas, and I feel like it's either there's no snow or it's like -6 degrees and everything's
Mm-hmm.
frozen, which neither is normal, is the
Oh,
normal. Yeah.
yep. You're exactly right. I don't remember the last Christmas either. I think I vaguely remember, like, even Thanksgiving. It's normally really crispy. Maybe there might be a little snow or like an inkling of snow on the ground or something to that effect. But going to the Turkey Bowl, which is a typical Baltimore tradition around here, with Loyola and Calvert Hall high schools playing against each other every Thanksgiving morning, and I'm out there in a thermal shirt and a
Mhm.
t-shirt. What?
Yeah.
Where's my? I'm supposed to be in a parka with UGG boots on and hand warmers. Like, why am I just out here in a thermal and a t-shirt? It's okay. This is not okay, and it's not normal. But there's so much irreversible damage that's been done that
Yeah.
we're not going to be able to get it back. So I appreciate the sustainability efforts as a lead green associate and somebody that focuses on that as well. If we can do everything we can, we're not going to be able to reverse time.
Right. Yeah, we can't
And
reverse
so,
them impacts, but we
and
can
the fact,
lessen them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you have any last words for the audience? The future audience?
No, audience. I have some things to work on, audience. That's all I have to say. I have to swim, and I gotta go outside more often and take a walk. And there's no better exercise than walking. Weights are great and cardio is great, but walking does all the things. Yeah, I appreciate your time and that you're giving me a topic that I need to tap into a little bit more. So I appreciate being able to rant and share.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Nature with You. If you're interested in more content, feel free to check out Nature with You on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and follow me on Instagram at naturewithyou_.